things. Up next, I'm not going to bring her in yet. Up next is going to be this young lady by the name of Natasha Watts. Natasha, here she is. You know what? You guys brings people in for the sake. Just like he don't even. My man don't even wait to just like.
Me not ready, you know. I was talking away.
No, you've been there tonguing your hair. You know what I mean? You could have eaten your breakfast, man. Just bring you in there. Oh.
The picture's much better anyway. It's a much better interpretation of me this morning, let me tell you.
Are you a morning person?
Yeah, but I look a little bit disheveled, not gonna lie. I don't look like that picture. It's false advertising.
I tell you what, I will tell you through experience, when you show up on stage, Tash, you show up. You show up.
I come correct, yeah? Is that, you know, us women, we are magicians. Yes. We have magic in our makeup bag.
Have you ever had to improvise when it comes to an outfit?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember there's a story I'm going to tell you. I was 18 and I flew back into the country from LA. They lost my bag. It was my 18th birthday and I had to improvise. And I remember I had to wear a pair of my dad's black wire front pants and a little black dress. Yes, I mean that, you know. If I'd have got lucky, they would have seen I had black wire front man's pants on. They were my dad's. Yeah, that's improvising.
Do you dress accordingly to, because of the kind of style you do, do you dress accordingly to the style of music you perform for? So is there a particular outfit to go through the style of music you perform?
No. Listen, if you do Google images on me, there's a whole plethora of different styles, different looks, different hairstyles. I wouldn't say soul has a particular look. What I'm trying to do nowadays is be age appropriate. So you see how I used to come with all those mini skirts? I'm not really checking for that anymore because one, I don't want to wear the shoes because my foot bottom can't take it. And two, I'm slightly wider than I used to be. So I'm coming age appropriate these days.
Well, I could take the first time I met you. Yeah, you did have a short skirt on. Yeah. And you had these massive 7
inch. Yeah. I used to wear 7-inch heels all the time. I'm only 5 foot and a fart, you know. So the 7 inches, I needed it.
So you stopped wearing that kind of style because when I saw you, I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Whoa. No, I don't get no whoa anymore.
But when I say whoa, I'm not saying it in a pervy way. I'm saying it got my attention. So and it got my attention because like that's a performer, because it was a separate from a raver, then a performer.
Yeah.
She's a performer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I still listen. Part of the facade of being a performer is you get to dress up, you know. It's a very thin line between drag queen and performer.
Yeah. Lily Savage and Beyonce.
Sorry?
You said drag queen. I was like, Lily Savage or Beyonce?
Yeah, like the really thin line. And, you know, I'm nearly 50. So I'm trying to not, one, embarrass my kids. and two, I need to feel comfortable. I'm at a different stage in my life. Do you know what I mean? And it's really weird because literally, not to get too deep, as a woman, you wake up one day and you're like, whoa, everything is different. Your thought process. So me tottering around on 7-inch heels just ain't the one anymore because my foot bottom can't take it. It can't take it.
I will say this to the listener. I will say this. When you were wearing those heels, a couple of times I've seen you perform and I performed with you. You were singing ballads, so there was no house track.
Yeah. No, I won't. I've worn them for the house stuff, but for the house stuff now, like it's trainers and a jumpsuit. You know, I'm comfortable. You know, you got to be comfortable. But if I'm doing a proper show, of course, I still come with a classy pair of slingbacks or red bottoms, you know, and sequins. And listen, I got 5 wardrobes in this house. Okay, there's a different outfit for every different show.
Is there pressure as for female performers to look that bit
Yes.
amazing?
Yes.
Who do you think the pressure comes from, yourselves or society or the industry?
I think it's a mixture of all of it. Okay. And funny enough, in the last year, not to touch on again the fact I'm in a very different place in my life. As we sit here, I'm having a hot sweat. But basically,
I have that effect sometimes.
Yeah, it's all about you, Quincy. But basically, you know, you want to be. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm very voluptuous. I love that. I'm a Black woman. I'm meant to have shape. I don't want to be skinny. Yeah. But I don't want to jiggle in the wrong place either. Do you know what I mean? And that's a pressure that I put on myself, not that anyone really puts on me. Because like I said earlier, I'm nearly 50. So, you know, the industry ain't looking at me anyway. I'm too old. They're not, you know, that younger industry. Wow. I wouldn't want to be in that. That is, yeah. Although I think nowadays there's so much more acceptance of curvy women. You know, it's not it's not something that was around when I was younger. You know, there wasn't this. You know, they call it the BBL. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know where that come from. But it's just a curvy woman. Yeah, and curvy women are celebrated, which I love. Thick women are celebrated today. It's like 25 years too late for me, but because I've been thick since I've been in school.
So raising that images. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on 99.8. We are streaming live via the Quincy's Presents YouTube channel. I am speaking to the wonderful Natasha Watts, is in the building, and she's going to be letting us know what she's got coming up. And I know she's got a few things coming up, but we're just chatting the breeze. And while we was off air, we were speaking about the pressures of as a female artist when it comes to fashion, and she was just mentioning pressures. She wouldn't. I'm paraphrasing. Did you say that you wouldn't like to be in the industry now for young girls?
No, definitely not. One, I don't. You know, there's a couple of exceptions, but on the whole, there's no substance behind what they're singing. It's all surface stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's very much about sex appeal. It's very much about partying. There's, you know, there are some really lovely artists, but they're not mainstream singing with a purpose. Does that make sense? And I might be completely generalizing there, and I'm probably going to come under attack. But from what I've seen, you know, it's still the same old booty backside in the club, raving, dancing. It's not, you know.
I'm going to tend to agree with you in the sense of, and I put myself out there. I was watching Seth London and Jada Kingdom, so and I was following the issue between those two. Yeah, the beef, which I found very sad.
Very sad. Very sad.
Sad in the way of the kind of rhetoric conversation what was coming out of that, but also as we're talking about pressure for female artists and imagery for female artists. I when I see Seth London, she's amazing. She has an amazing look on stage. Jada Kingdom is exactly the same. They look amazing on stage. But I'm like, would you feel comfortable just being you? Take all that hysteria makeup and the kind of...
They won't do it. They won't do it because more than ever with social media, like, it's become so superficial. Nothing seems genuine. Nothing, you know, you don't see these people out with no hair, no makeup, no eyelashes, no fingernails, no this, no that. You know, I don't know who's looking at this camera now, but you see me, I got my pajamas on underneath here, and and my hair is my hair. I actually have been to the shop with my sunglasses because I don't come from that era. I don't come from a place where you can't step out looking 100%. I want people to see the real. This is the real me. This is it. You know, there's no. What's nice then is what you just said. When I go on stage, I scrub up all right. There's a difference, but you don't see that with this younger generation now. It's I don't know. It's so superficial beyond any kind of like. I mean, when we was younger, we had exclamation perfume and a bit of Heather Shimmer lipstick. That was it. There was none of this. There's all this emphasis on you've got to look perfect. This Instagram life. Is that what it is? It's the Instagram life.
It was more the Instagram life. I think it's the social media life, and I think it has really changed people's, especially young men's perception on females, especially females.
On reality.
Yeah, the reality. Yeah, and I think is another role because. I'd be interested to know, and listeners as well. I'm talking to Natasha Watts. If you want to ask any questions, feel free to do so. 07464019433, or you can leave your comments in the chat as well. I'm just interested to know where we've made that shift from Alison Moyer. It was a larger lady. Yeah. Ren Guthrie, who was another larger lady. Both from different sides of the ponds. But both had amazing voices, and I even go as far to say Adele as well. I believe that she was pressurized, and it was spoken about that she had to lose weight. There you go. That's scrub up well. You know what I was saying.
Scrub up, all right.
Yeah. But there is when that shift started to take into place, and unfortunately, I would say that. Would you say that men have unfortunately played a part in that in the industry?
No, I think it's always been there. It's always been there. You know, I was going to be signed when I was 18, and then I was like a size 6. I was a little whippersnapper, but the emphasis was always on sex sales. You just had to be you had to have a certain look, but now I think it's even more because it's all about if you don't have that look, everyone's getting plastic surgery. You know, what's with all these lips? Where's this come from that everyone's got to have these filled out lips? And you know, they all look the same. It's like do you know what I mean by that? Like I walk along and I'm like, girls, where is your individuality? Where is your? But it's like you can't come out of the house without a full face of makeup. Like my poor husband, you know, he gets to look at this all the time, right? Because this is real. It's just real, and I don't see how it's not got better. I think it's got worse. I think there is more emphasis. You know, the industry now isn't even about your talent. It's about how many followers have you got? How many likes have you got? How many views have you got?
Yeah.
What's that? You know, I don't know. And then you've all got to look the same and act the same, and I don't know.
I always say those kind of attitudes comes from a place, and that comes from people within the industry.
It's rotten.
And unfortunately, it comes from a male perspective. Males have a view of how a woman should look, and I just think it's like we should be going for the talent of the individual instead of obviously, like I was speaking to our previous guests, turn up for the role or the job looking decent, but recognize that person's got talent and pick up on that talent. Would you say the industry is ageist?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Recently, or it's always been like that?
I think it's always been like that. You know, it's very hard for a woman or a man of an older age to break into the industry. You know, And the industry has changed so much. I mean, I never sugarcoat it, Quincy, you know, I don't. But I'm like, even yesterday, I was like, oh my God, what am I even trying to do? What am I even trying to do? What am I even trying to achieve? And I'm achieving more than most. But yesterday, I'm like, I can't get the bigger bookings because I don't have the right agent. I can't get the right agent because they're not playing me on Radio 2. I can't get on Radio 2 unless I give all my music away to Spotify. Now I can't get the listens on Spotify because my listeners are older. So I'm caught in this vortex, for want of a better word, of like, it's just going to go, and nothing's ever going to, it's not even never going to reach where it needs to reach. You know, the industry, I don't know. It's God.
I read that you put it on Facebook. I did read that,
Yeah.
and I think that because I know you're an open book and you wear your heart in your sleeve, similar to myself. We all have those as an artist. We all have those moments.
Yeah.
So what keeps Natasha Watts going then?
Well, because the passion, the feeling that I get when I'm on stage and I'm entertaining, because it's not even about the singing. When I'm entertaining and I see people smiling, laughing, some crying because maybe I've touched them emotionally, or maybe they just think I'm rubbish. I don't know. But that feeling I get when I've delivered a performing, entertaining showstopper is like crack. It is not that I've ever had crack. I just want to put that out there, disclaimer. But I can liken it to, it's addictive. I am addicted to my performing. I get so much out of it, from mentally, emotionally, therapeutic. I live to sing. I don't care if I'm singing to the cows in the field next door to me, or 5 people down the local pub doing a charity show, or whatever it is, or 5,000 at the Royal Albert Hall. They all have the same impact on me. I was born to perform. This is what I've done since I was 7 years of age. So if I can't do that, what else can I do?
Yeah, I felt that in your message when you put that on Facebook, and I think that you have got the right people around you, like you mentioned your husband, and there are people in the industry that, like myself, who will always support you. But sometimes we all need that validation to a point, you know what I mean, to be recognized for you. And there's nothing wrong of an artist, of us feeling like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had Donnie on the show last week,
Yeah.
And he was speaking about being on tour with Peter Gabriel,
Yeah.
He was he was playing keyboard, and he said that Peter Gabriel was still performing in stadiums.
Yeah, it's huge.
Huge. So what is it about? Well, obviously Genesis does play a part, but here's a guy who the industry have clearly still invested in, and he's older than us.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? There's no comparison between artists from the 80s and 90s to now, because what you've got as an artist, and I've just recently did 15 shows of Alexandre O'Neal, okay? And they were all sold out, because it's people's youth, it's people's nostalgia. Okay, you got to take these songs from the 80s and 90s, and they coincide with that person's finest years of growth and development. Just like if I was to go and see for SWV, that's my youth. Okay, so what happens? You associate those songs with the most amazing time of your life, which is your youth. So when you're there, you're rekindled, you're transported back to a time where you had no cares, you had no worries, you was out raving, you was living your best life, you was wearing skimpy clothes. It was great. Now, me as an artist coming out in the last 10 years, I can't compete with that, because I'm not tapping into your nostalgia. I'm not on a journey through your youth. All I can do is deliver to you a performance that you think, oh my God, she's great. Now, my songs are good and my songs have been #1, but we're not talking about the national #1s. We're talking about the soul chart #1s, which is a niche market. So how do I get those people? And there's been hundreds of thousands that have seen me over the last few years. How do I get them to keep coming back to my shows? I have to keep delivering. The only way I'm going to get you on board is that you like me and you come back to see me, which is a much harder journey than having a song that you remember from dancing down at granaries or ministry or wherever it is you heard it first and you was having a little dance to it, or you might have kissed your first boyfriend to that song, or that might have been your first love song or your first dance. I can't compete with that. I can only offer me. So I have to get people to invest in me, the person.
If I had the budget, yeah, I'll have a machine next to me right now, and I'll be dropping bombs, literally, because you know, and it's, as an artist, you look at it and you're like, I say to myself, or why haven't I tapped in, or why aren't I getting the bookings, and what is it about that person is like, that person's dead, like, and they're still selling out, but it's they tap into someone's youth. And I'll just go back to the roundup for the week. It's the same thing when a celebrity or a known person passes or transition. Steve Wright, when we found out Steve Wright passed, it was youth.
Yeah, it's your youth, and that is such a powerful thing, and I've seen it over and over again. You know, I've toured with Gladys Knight, Alexandra Neal, Shalimar, Fatback Band, the OJs, Candy Staton. But these are, you see the people there, it's the songs, it's their youth, they're into it. So I'm already fighting up that hill. I just want to put on a show, right? Put a show on sale and it sell out. That's it. And I'm not talking thousands, I'm talking hundreds of people. But I have to work that much harder to remind people what they saw when they came and saw me. But then you come from the mentality, oh, we'll see her again another time. Or, oh, I've seen her once already. They don't, it's not that, you know, it's constant. But with that being said, people can go to my website, natashawattsmusic.co.uk, and check out all my tickets.
I'm going to be a preacher right now. Say it again, sister. Say it again.
natashawattsmusic.co.uk. I am going to be in Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, Sheffield, and Leicester.
Maybe now's the time. I think I know just what to do.
If my permission, put it in me, wants to put it in.
Running away. Today is the day I'm breaking free.
Do you know what I love about that? Yeah, see, there's a performance in your band. Yeah, I want you to talk about your band in a second. So without chatting our business, one of your band members is obviously everyone on stage is doing their thing. Everyone's looking amazing, and one of your band members lives around the corner from me. Yeah, every turn, it literally is around the corner from me. Literally, I could throw a stone and each of them house. And when we was in Basingstoke, it was no. When I performed for you at the Pizza Express, that's when I met him, and he goes, and we both looked at each other, and it's like, Tesco Express.
Which one?
In East London. That's what I was saying, in East London.
Oh, East London. I'm not going to say the area because I don't want to check his business, but yeah, we're literally, we're both in Newham. We're both in Newham, and we both share the same Tesco Metro. Love that.
So we both each other in the morning, like looking mash up, getting the milk, and then in the evening, like, you was wearing shorts and some slides.
Now listen, I got great people in my band, and you know, I wholeheartely respect everything they do and what they bring to my table, because I can't do it without them, you know, and they believe in me as well, which is why we're a solid group now. And you know, they know I put my own tours on, so that means I put my own money up. That means I pay for my own venues, hire the van, put the hotels on, do the whole thing, you know. And they know that I will work whatever I have to do to get people on seats. But it's not, I'd love to have a promoter, but No one wants to take a risk.
Yeah, I can tell what they should do. Yeah, I'm going to tell you and the listeners that so the last time we were together was the Jazz Cafe.
Yeah.
We were celebrating and acknowledging Steve from his experience. And on that night, it was a star-studded night of great performers. And I said on that night when you came off stage, because you opened up and you set the bar. And I'm not just saying this to gas you, I'm not just saying this for sake of, you set the bar. You set the bar. And your performance on that night was you set the bar. And they had, whoever came, well, the guys who came after you had to follow. They had this like raw.
But I had a lot to prove that night. I really did. And if I'm really honest, I was quite sick, as I said to you. I weren't 100%. I was about 60%, but I had a point to prove, because there is a lot of stuff I get overlooked for because I'm just Natasha. There's no, I know people respect what I do, but they don't respect what I do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They don't, they respect that I'm a hustler and I work hard and I'm this and I'm that, but they don't hold me necessarily in the same esteem as my fellow peers, because my fellow peers might have had that hit record, or they might have had, a big tour, or they've been going for longer, and that's all well and good, but it's about acknowledging the same level of talent, and they don't. And I find that frustrating, because I'm forever having to prove myself. And at my age, I don't want to have to be proving myself. I don't want to have to be begging people for a gig, or let me show you what I can do.
No, you're right. I told the listeners, so you was on there with people like Robin Owens, who's a legend. You know what I mean? And then even all these dripping and dropping. Yeah. No,
it was wicked.
But it wasn't like it wasn't a Miss Watts. It wasn't. There was no dropping. You know what I mean? It was like, what? It was no, you bought soul that night. You bought soul that night. You know what I mean? You proper bought it. You know what I mean? And it is a case of, I've always said that if I use you and your band, it's like I will pay you what you deserve. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And recognize it. I don't forget. You know what I mean? I'm going to make something of myself, and I don't forget. And I want to bring you through. So look, before we go to a break here, ladies and gentlemen, we're still going to continue the conversation. I'm talking to Natasha Watts. She's got some stuff there. Please tell them how they can contact you and listen to your music. Come across the Quincy's Presents YouTube channel. We're going to continue the conversation with Natasha Watts. Tell them again, sis, how they can listen to your music.
Go to my website, natashawattsmusic.co.uk. I've got my new release on Bandcamp. Go and find me on Bandcamp. In fact, you can find me anywhere. Just Google Natasha Watts Singer.
All right. So look, now we come off. Tell people what the song I always ask you to sing, or not ask you to sing, but I always talk to you about. What's the song?
Won't you come close to me? Feel my body breathe. Oh yeah, yeah. Lay me down tonight and make me feel so right. Big people think. Pull up.
So that's a Donny track. I had the pleasure of you sang that at Extra Time Friday, the first season. It was a live band as well, and a track which yourself and Donny wrote. And straight after that track, because Donny rang me, and this is the power of when you get a performer who performs a song, and even though it was his song, per se, he rang me. Goes, "How you get Natasha to sing the song and don't invite me?" I had to, I was gonna anyway. He was on the list, but he rang and he's watched the show, and he was like, "Get me on your show."
Yeah, good.
And that just shows the variation of styles you can do, because that's a very neo soul independent kind of track.
Yeah, it's big on the underground rare groove. It's big. It's one of those things that, you know, I'm thinking of putting it on 7-inch, and you know it's going to sell out in like nano, because it'll be collectible, because you can't, you could, it's not even physical, you can't get it anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the digital era.
Yeah, big tune. When did you pick the Mobos?
Didn't watch it.
You watch it? It don't interest you?
Nah. Sorry, did they have a soul category? I must have missed that.
And I say the same thing for soca. No, there wasn't a soul category.
How are you going to have a music of black origin and there's no soul? Come on now.
And this is what I always say.
Music of black origin, there is a huge UK soul scene, and you're not going to even acknowledge it. I ain't watching that rubbishness anyway, foolishness.
Yeah. Sometimes I say to myself, it needs to be called out, because
Omar did. Do you remember he turned up when it was at the O2? He turned up and gate crashed it and made a whole scene about where's the soul section. And now you it's not even on the telly. Now it's like on, like, it's not even screened. As a kid, I used to watch that and be like, oh my God, I need to be on the mobiles. Oh my God, I'd give anything for a mobile. Now I'm like, no, you're not even, there is no representation for UK soul. They got UK R&B, right? But yeah, UK R&B is amazing. But soul, modern soul, is completely different. It's completely, modern soul is your modern take on your Gladys Knight, your Aretha, so real soul, not R&B. Don't jazz it up as R&B, right? Soul. I mean, they called Adele a soul artist. Come on now. Come on now. Whatever.
That's no shade on.
Listen, I like Adele, but she's not a soul artist. She's an easy listening pop artist. Yeah, come on now. They need to come correct. Pisses me off.
That's when they remember the time when George Michael, God rest his soul, when he won best soul and R&B in America, the Grammys.
Yeah, come on now.
He beat George Benson.
It's not. And it's got nothing to do with skin color here, by the way. Right, I just want to clarify that, because there is some beautiful, like there's a guy called Jared Lawson, badass soul singer, white guy from America. All right. It's not about color. It's about the genre. If that's the genre and that's what they're singing, then do a proper category for it. You know, there's a few soul awards that happen in the UK. Soul Survivors magazine, they do an awards ceremony. I think they do it like every couple of years. I'd like to say that I've won best soul artist 3 times. Just saying. I've also won best newcomer. So I'll give them props. There is a guy called Sly who works on Colourful Radio, DJ Sly, and he does his own Bright Star Awards for the UK soul. You know, UK soul, UK reggae, and he has championed it. He didn't do it last year, but I've won that a few times too. But there's a couple of like smaller soul representing categories, but we need more. Because you're right, that validation, you know, that validation. I don't see soul anywhere at the Brit Awards. Sorry, what? That's like a tumbleweed just went past my bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I find it kind of frustrating, because I remember the UK grime artists and the UK rappers were saying we're British and we're not being accepted as the British Awards. And I remember when Noel Gallagher was mentioning when Jay-Z closed Glastonbury, that now we've had Stormzy do it. You know what I mean? It's not, Glastonbury isn't for hip hop music and all that kind of stuff. It all goes with validation. You want to be recognized.
Of course it does. Of course, you want to be recognized, because them small recognitions are the difference between people coming to the shows and not coming to the shows, because there's a million ways to reach people now, and most of them the public have turned off for. They don't want to get a text message, they don't want to get a notification, they don't want to get an email, you know. So you need to go back to old school and be on the public facing, you know, to get to get where you need to be. It's like literally like running up the travelator on bloody gladiators. Honestly, I'm tired. My leg no work. Anyway,
After the hours of midday, I've got a few more minutes. I've got a couple of minutes before we depart, and I want to talk about. Don't tell me now, but just I want you to think about the worst Jamaican accents on TV and film.
It's my own. No, I've actually got a really good story for that.
All right, so yeah, before we wrap up, because I'm going to talk about that after we come back. Right. So look, what's coming up for Natasha? What you got coming up for Natasha?
What is coming up? I've got lots happening actually. The most key things are next Friday is the release of my remix package of the album Music Is My Life, which was #1 last year. And then we go into April where I am touring so much. I've got my Dinner in Elegance again. And then I've got Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, Sheffield, Leicester. Then I've got the Pizza Express at Chelsea, 24th, 25th. Then I've got a big concert at Grays.
Of April, yeah?
Yeah, this is all April. Yeah, I've got a few shows in April. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shows in April. So busy.
I'm going to try and, because I might be back from, I'm away in March, in April.
Yeah.
I would love to, like I said, there's no shade. If I can, I'd love to warm up for you again.
It's a very different venue. I'm at the Chelsea one. It's not the Holborn one. So it's only 80 people a night. It's a lot different. Okay. But listen, there's one I'm going to talk to you about. I can get you to come and host for me. All right?
Yeah, because that's a Wednesday and a Thursday, right?
Yeah, but I'm thinking something else. We'll talk offline. Okay?
Yeah, no, cool. No, I mean, even if I pass down, I mean, you're in Chelsea. I've got a couple of mates down there. I'll come down to support. The 24th and 25th is in Chelsea, right?
No. Hold the 26th, which is the Friday. I'll talk to you about it off air.
Yeah, cool. That's all good. I know you're doing your thing. Any other artists? Because you said you've performed quite a few times with Alexander O'Neill.
Yeah, I'm doing a couple more with him, which is good. And then I've got Imani coming to do a show with me on the 26th of April. And I'm also doing there's a couple that I can't really say, but there's a huge one happening in London, but I can't say because it's not out there yet. So I don't think I can say, which is really frustrating. Oh, I'm doing Mesa Leaks and Will Downing on March the 11th.
Oh,
in London. In London at the Forum, Kentish Town.
So March the 11th.
March the 11th. And if anyone wants tickets, tell them to find me on social media. I've got a special link for them.
All right. Yeah, I think I can. I'll still be here, so I can probably.
Yeah. Come on, Will Downing, Mesa Leaks, and me. Hello.
100%. You know what I mean? When you get these news, because Will Downing is again, he's got his foundation, and hardcore supporters. When you get to perform with these guys, do you say to yourself, right, I have to step it up, or I'm going to let you know who that Natasha Watts is?
No, I always let people know who I am. I don't have to step it up because that's my standard. Because I'm always fighting. I'm always showing you. I don't do anything half-assed. There's no point. You know, this is me.
Have you ever performed with an artist and then after you've come off stage, it was like, you can't warm up for me no more. Make me work.
Yeah, I have. And then I don't get booked again. That
could be the downside.
Real talk, yeah. So I'm also going to be March the 23rd. I'm going to be at the Indigo O2 alongside Heather Small, Sybil, and who else is going to be there? I can't even think off the top of my head. There
Never
is
and people, Sybil, falling in love, falling in love, falling in love, falling in
no
love.
Sybil sung
Oh,
was
Sybil.
it?
She's falling in love, yeah, falling in love.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
think I'm just trying to open up the flyer. So Sybil, Heather Small, Phil Fearon, me, and it's not opening up quick enough.
It's all right.
Let me
You can
just,
send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll make sure I put it up.
oh yeah, Acantha Lang, Angelo Starr, Uncle Frank's Disco Inferno, and this is at the Indigo O2.
What's it like performing with Gladys Knight?
Oh, I love her. She's back in June. I should go along to the show and see her.
Do you
But
get
she's getting, huh?
she still hold her notes?
Yeah, man. Listen, that woman makes me cry. She's lovely.
When you perform with someone like that who is a living legend and obviously
Icon, total icon.
Does she recognize the impact that she has on singers?
I don't know, probably, but I've met her now a bunch of times, and she's always very gracious and always very lovely. And you know, we've got a nice little story because I met her when I was 17, living in San Francisco. She was opening up for Frankie Beverly Mays, and I met her, and she signed a photo for me. So roll forward 20, I think it was 23 years. And then I was opening up for her, and I bought the same photo, and she signed the other side of it. And she said she was really proud that I'd continued on my journey, and that, you know, to go full circle like that and then be opening up for her. For me, that was a monumental moment, you know. I just need more of those.
Do you prefer, you have traveled around the world to perform? I mean, Japan, Saudi, America, you know, I mean, which are the countries which you said you performed at, which has been really embracing in Natasha Watts style?
Oh gosh, Russia was really interesting.
Was it?
Russia was really random. I also, very random, Angola. Flew down to Angola in West Africa for a moment that I shall never ever forget. You know, Europe is always, you know, the Italians have always received me really well. I must have been there, I don't know, 30 times. Switzerland, I've probably been about 20 times. You know, and you end up going back to the same places. Germany, a lot. Norway, I did a gig in Norway on a floating island in the middle of a lake at 1 o'clock in the morning when it was daylight. That was very random. I've sung under a live volcano in a place called Stromboli. That was mental. That was 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're just watching this live lava. In fact, Stromboli erupted a couple of days ago. Yeah, oh, wow. Random facts. Yeah, look, but
I'm gonna give you your first answer. I'm gonna give you a couple of verses, yeah, and then we're gonna go into the Bob Marley team.
Okay.
Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight.
Gladys.
Frankie Beverly, Mays, or Fatback Band?
Oh, Frankie Beverly.
Luther, George Benson.
Luther.
Singing in the UK or singing abroad?
That's a hard one because it's two completely different things. But if it's in the UK and it's right, it's spectacular. But you get a lot of love. I get more love when I go abroad, unfortunately.
Winning a Grammy or winning a Mobo?
Grammy.
Beyonce or Jennifer Hudson?
Ooh. Listen, I can't take it away from Beyonce, what she does. She is genius. Her marketing is genius. Her talent is genius. But J Hud sings. She sang. And J Hud has really kicked down doors of diversity to get to where she is. I like her struggle. I'm not saying Beyonce didn't struggle, but she didn't. she didn't struggle like J Hud. And, you know, and J Hud is still, you know, she's still running up that Travelator. Do you know what I mean?
see with the Beyonce thing, she hasn't had the struggle or a Fantasia or a J Hud, but she's had to have a struggle to maintain the levels she delivers a show.
No, she ain't had to have a struggle at all. She's a genius. She's a marketing genius. And she has kept herself relevant throughout. Now, whether that's her or her team around her or her dad, I don't know, because I'm not as invested. But for me, just the way Jennifer Hudson had to turn around and be like, I'm going to win that Oscar, when everybody was against her winning the Oscar and she won the Oscar. And I'm like, I got to give her props for that.
Yeah, okay. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott.
Jill Scott, come on now. That's a stupid one.
This is personal for us.
Go on.
Jurgen Klopp or Kenny Dalglish?
Oh, Jurgen. Sorry. I'm really sad. I think Xabi Alonso is going to get the job, though.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I don't want to make it about football, because we could talk about
that.
One more football question. Which trophy would you prefer Liverpool to win? The Premiership, FA Cup, Europa League, or the Carabao Cup?
Oh, Premiership. All day long. Yeah. It's another stupid question. What's wrong with you? Foolishness.
Something about Europe. All right. If you had your dream choice of a duet with, who would it be?
Right, who are dead or alive?
Yeah, dead or alive. You can choose.
Donny Hathaway.
Donny Hathaway. I can see that.
Yeah.
A ballad?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to sing Love, Love, Love with him. That's it, done.
Big tune, yeah. It's done. It's in the argument.
Yeah.
All right, lastly, what did you think of the performance, the halftime performance of with
Usher?
And
come on now. Three costume changes, skating, strippers, full band, this, that. Come on, it was amazing. Amazing.
So what did you think of the rhetoric with how he was performing with Alicia, like the closeness? Because that's been
it's an act, isn't it? She's too into her husband. It's a performance. She's too into, and anyone that wants to question that doesn't really see where she's coming from, because her and her husband, Swizz, they are
tight.
They are so tight, and that's why he's comfortable, because he knows.
I found that rhetoric because it was coming from the younger generation.
They don't get it. They don't get it.
Them two were professional performers in the moment, and the song when they were performing resembles that.
Yeah, but that was the video from back in the day. They were lovers. That's the whole point. And you believe it, that means they're great at what they do. They conveyed their art to have you sucked in to believe that there's more than what there is. Man just married his wife, for God's sake.
Yeah, literally.
Before or whatever it was. Because
done.
They don't get it. But young people don't understand that you can have a friend like that, or you can do the performance. It's acting. It's acting. No more, no less.
You get a role in a movie.
Yeah.
Because of your singing brilliance. What kind of movie would you like to be picked in? She cut me off. We get cut off. Get her back, see? She was going to answer the question that I asked her, because a lot of performers get to literally do movies, and I wanted to know from our very own Natasha Watts, if she gets picked for a movie, what genre of movie would she like to be in? Oh, she's back.
I'm sorry. I was just cleaning a bit of dirt off the bottom of the camera.
We keep it real there. We keep it real. Right. So what genre of movie, if you had to act in any movie, what genre of movie would you Like,
Oh, I love a rom-com. I love a good rom-com. And I'm an old romantic, so I'll be like, lost at the airport, and then I bump into a man who then sits next to me on the plane, and then we talk, and by the end of the journey, we're like, "Do you want to go for dinner?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be me."
All right, by your husband,
Yeah.
your on-screen husband in that scene. Your on-screen husband.
Oh, my on-screen husband in that scene. There ain't many people that I look at and think, "Ooh, I'm just not that kind of person." I don't get that.
I don't get. We can look at that person's person. Like for me, I like Sherry Shepherd. I think that I like her personality. You know what I mean? I don't look at her and think, you know what I mean, boys. I don't look at her like that. I look at her personality, and I look at she brings that show. So I would love to meet her.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't. There isn't anyone that because I have to really know someone, really, and I don't know celebrities enough to think, oh yeah. I'm just not cut from that cloth. I never have been. It's a connection thing. It always has been. They can be black, white, yellow, pink, blue, 6 foot, 5 foot, 20 stone, 10 stone. But if the connection's there, the connection's there. Just quickly, I just need to say there was something I saw on Instagram this week that really troubled me. Same reason. Chili from TLC put up a picture of her and her man.
I saw that.
And tens of thousands of hate comments because he's white and she's black. And I honestly, my heart hurt for it because all I saw was a picture of two people in love. So this perpetuation of black and white all the time, all you're doing is keeping it going. This younger generation should be disgusted with themselves. They should.
And they don't know the option, because obviously she was with Usher for many years. And that relationship, she went through a lot in that relationship. I'm not saying that
she did, but it's not even about that. She fell in love. She loves her man. It shouldn't be about a colour. I can't get that. I don't get it.
He's just a regular cat, and he's just a regular cat. He is not.
And she's happy. She's happy. So why have people got to have such a negative opinion on it? And this is, all you're doing is perpetuating hate, because it was hateful. It was really hateful what they were saying about her. Now, my mother's white, my dad's black, so I don't get that. I've come from I don't get it.
I had a bit of that when there was rumors about Khalees and Bill Murray. I was like, what the hell? What's she doing there? Have you seen Khalees? I was like, what the? There's a little bit of hate.
Well, listen, love is love. Right, and all people should focus on is she being treated right? Is she happy? It's about someone's happiness. No one's got to walk in her shoes, and I just felt for her that she took what was a nice moment and they turned it into something really, really horrible. It just disappointed me again with society.
Yeah, as it shows, that's the toxic side of social media, and people. What you've done here, right? Before we end it, you've done a great segue. This is why you're a professional, not just music-wise, radio. That's your history as well. You mentioned Love is Love. I'm talking about the movie One Love with Bob Marley.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, it's had some backlash, hasn't it?
Right, there has been some backlash for a similar thing as well, similar kind of concepts when it comes to, but this has been accent wise. I'm not going to delve into that too much. I'm going to comment after the break. But before we go, I just want for you, if you can remember, and if anybody, 07464 019 433. What the accent thing has come up. Yeah. What has been, in your perspective, the worst Jamaican accent on TV and film?
Right. I was 12 years of age and I was desperately trying to do like TV and stuff, right? And I remember saying to my mum, I got an agent, found this agent, managed to get myself signed up to this agency, got sent off to an audition. The audition was for a children's program called Runaway Bay. Okay. Don't know if you remember it, but it was set in Runaway Bay, Jamaica, and all the actors were from England. And I went for the role of this young black girl. Now, I weren't black enough. Okay, so I didn't get it because I weren't black enough. However, the accent was so bad. It was beyond bad because, and I don't know why they ended up doing that, because it was terrible. God love the actress. She probably really tried. But I remember thinking at the time, like, but I did a better Jamaican accent than that, because I've always taken the mick. And my dad's plural, because I grew up with two dads, both Jamaica. And, I had the accent. So I remember feeling a certain way about it. And I'm sure you could probably catch it on YouTube, and it is so bad. I mean, the accent's so bad. So, but, but this happens all the time. Yeah, but this happens all the time, doesn't it? And we know that Jamaicans have plenty of actors and actresses there who can actually have the accent. But as your previous guest pointed out, they would need subtitles because it's too fast and they wouldn't keep up with it. So they water it down. However, you could ask a proper Jamaican who is an actor or an actress to slow down their speech, but they still, it makes me laugh when they do put all the subtitles up, because I mean, I understand it. You probably understand it. But for the great of good, they don't. So that's why they just water it down. So, yeah.
And I think that's a bigger insult, especially the culture. I think that when you got to water down your natural essence, that's an issue, because you buy into people's culture.
Yeah. I tell you where else I heard it really bad. I went and watched the Bob Marley musical. It was quite bad there.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's why I haven't gone and watched it.
Yeah, a great musical, but I don't even think the guy the night I went was even black.
What?
Mm. 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 Anyway, look, as much as I'm going to love sitting and talking to you all day.
No, we wrap it up now. Look, wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. Just let them know, Tash, how they can contact you, listen to the music.
Yes, just get over to my website, natashawattsmusic.co.uk, or find me on all of my social medias. I do actually answer everything. So you can stalk me, tweet me, poke me, prod me. Please don't send me any pictures. That's not nice. Nobody needs to see that. But just keep in contact.
Natasha Watts, love you.
I love you too, baby. Thank you for having me on. New remix comes out next week. Get to my Bandcamp, Natasha Watts Singer.
And we would talk after the show over the weekend. All right, take it easy.
Yeah, give me a shout. Love you. Bye, everyone. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Natasha Watts. Look,